So yeah.
Okay, overnight. So
I have not.
last
'Cause I haven't
yeah,
had the time working two jobs at Whole Food and doing the Uber thing. I have not, to be
I know,
honest.
I know. It's, I mean, if you have like 2 hours of the time, you can just go through them. But I won't send a video to you, I mean, invites today. So I'll schedule a time with you so we can review
Oh,
what is your
Okay.
drawback. Okay. Each of us are going to send a video invite, one-on-one video invites and everything. So I know where everyone is in and what is your drawback, what is your what you're going through, you know, so I can able to take off from there. Well,
Okay.
basically, what we did class, we just talked about. I show you how to set up account with Jira, which is very easy. We went on typing download Jira, and we're able to set up the Jira, and we log into the official site of Jira. And those people, this company is Atlancia, is a this is a company, a software company that's able to a software company that gives us the access to Jira tool when we log into this Atlancia. They have different software. I told about that last week, and they are the one that set up this particular page. So after we landed on this page, you will see this product. There are different products on Atlancia. They have different of their products. Let me think. If you freshly go into this account, you're able to see. So they have different software, but Jira is one of those software that they use, and this at Atlassian is the people, the software company that able to give us this Jira software to track your project management tools, how it's been done in the industry. So after that, you will land on this page, you will see the product that Atlassian team provides for you. But here we are interested in the Jira software. So the Jira software is what we use to track
do you have it on
our
the screen? There's nothing on my screen.
um can you see on screen?
Only thing I see is us, a screen of us, Abraham, Olu, and Bug
Okay,
Hunter. I don't see anything from.
okay. Hey Brian, can you see the same thing? Do you see what you can see on the screen? Can you see Jira?
I can see the screen. Connect every team, tax, and project together with Jira. It's okay.
Yeah. So Ms. Yo, can you log in and log out?
All right.
Yeah, maybe it's freezing. Maybe do you see the same thing? Maybe can you see the screen?
I see
Is
it now. It
yours
says backlog.
okay? I think it was freezing then. So I think I show you how to create a project, and when you create this is a project we created. This is my software project, and when you create a project, this is a project we have in your team. Maybe when you go to your Jira, this is what we have. If I click here, you see this is a project I just created last week. You can see this is a trial version. I just have like 23 more days to do anything we want to do here. This is a trial version, and it's before you start doing the payment. So that's what I want you guys to. When you create yours, you can just do some testing on that and just do some practice on that before it gets exhaust within the days left. So here I created a project right here. I told you how to create a project. Then yes, only gets tricky anyway, but what here, click on the overview right here, you can see, let me see on view all projects. You can see this is a project that we just created. Let's see, can move it to contrast. Okay. So let me start. Then these are done. These are one, three, view. Okay, maybe take some little time before it gets or deleted. But there's no project right here. View all project, you can see there's no project. Okay. So when your company, I told you that there is way Jira is being done in your organization. One thing is that you have to create a project in your organization. Maybe I told you we're going to go in practical aspect of it, how a project developing your organization, just something like a credit card project. Okay, so this is the project for us, and there's kind of terminologies that's being used in Jira. So one thing is that creating when you land at this official page on dashboard page of your Jira, when you create a project, create a project, you can see that here we have project templates. In Jira, we have the software development. This is what you're going to click on. You click on software development. And in software development, we have different templates. Basically, here we have Kanban. Abraham, can you hear me?
I can
I
hear
can
you.
hear you.
Okay, I think kind of echoing. Okay, we have Kanban style, we have Scrum style. There are different templates here. So basically here, Kanban and Scrum are um, two different agile process in software development. When you are given to develop a software, like we are developing we are developing a credit card project in our organization, in our company, in our team. Okay, so now when you come to your software development in Jira, a software development tool, has different templates. You can see this. We have the Kanban and we have the Scrum style. These are two agile processes in software development. When you are given to develop a software, the process you follow from end to end, starting from requirement gathering into releasing that particular application, that project, there are some series of actions that you need to perform. One way of performing the development is through the agile Kanban process or the agile Scrum process. When I say process, I mean how you do your create meetings, how to do your setup project goals, how to work towards those goals to complete those software in timely manner. So in all end-to-end rules to complete those software, those comes under same umbrella only, but just takes a different path to finish that project. So, but in companies, people mostly use Scrum boards. Okay, this Scrum board, this template here, this is most popular. Most company mostly use Scrum board because it is very famous in agile process. So let's start with this Scrum template and click on this. When you click on this, you're going to see something like this comes up. So we're using Scrum Agile process, which I explained to you what Scrum is, right? So most companies use this Scrum Agile process, all right? So we're going to use this template, all right? So sometime when a project is being implemented, about to implement it in your organization, your manager asks you to go check that different project in that we want to work with. You can see your company, you have different projects you guys are working with. Again, I told last week that a Scrum Master can handle more than two, three, four projects in a company organization. So you ask your manager, we have different templates to implement our project. Are we going to use the Kanban style? Are we going to use the Scrum style? mostly your manager will tell you that use the Scrum style, the current template, because it's more popular in the agile development industry. So you go and do what I use the Scrum style. So this is Scrum. Then you can see this is template we're going to use. This is Scrum template helps team work together using sprints to break down large complex projects into bite-sized piece of values. So we're going to use this template. Okay. So now you can see team manage and company manage. I hope you can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you can see team manage and company manage. For here, we're going to use on this company manage because why I'm using um this team this company manage is because it have a lot of features. So let's select the company manage because you have more features here. So I can explain these different options later on. So here you have more features. So you will have admin. When you click on this, when you select this company manage, you will one thing about when you select this company manage, you have admin access apart from normal user access. With these details, you can go ahead and select this, select team manage, then you create. Then here you have ads. So what is the project we are going to implement? Let's say we're implementing what? These are credit cards, credit card online. Or let me call it credit card banking. So when you're typing, you can see there is a kind of the key, right? Is it appended to this, what you are typing on? There's the name of your project. As you are typing it, you can see that it's coming up, all right? I said credit card banking going to be the name of our project. Okay, so as you're typing it, you can see it's being appended to this key. So key, you see how and that's it. So what happens is you go click. So if you want, maybe there's anything might happen, you think they may say, okay, we're not using Scrum style, I want to use the you don't want to use this company manage one, you want to go for the team manage, you can come here and change type and go back again and do the same thing. But so it gives us options. So since we're still using a company manage, because the company manage is going to give us a lot of access, admin access, a lot of features and all those stuff. So that's why we're going on this type of company manage. So you click on next. So this is the dashboard, how it's going to look like. Okay. The name of your project is credit card banking. All right. Project. That's a project when banking on. Right. So you can see by left hand side, you can see your timeline, backlog. Can someone tell me what backlog is? Remember what backlog is?
Backlog is what the product owner, what they put in. So the Scrum Master is different from product owner. The product
Yeah.
owner is who puts the backlog in to help facilitate the schedule, like tracking the projects going on.
Yeah, it's not
So
like
it's
a
like
bucket. It's not like a
it's a
bucket.
bucket,
What is
yes.
going to be the work that's going to be done. So there is going on the product backlog. All right.
Yes.
Difference between the product backlog and sprint backlog. So in case they ask you interview, what is backlogs? What are a product back? So these are what happens in your industry, how it's being done, how software development is being done in your industry. So you can see here we have the backlog on the left hand side, artist sprint. We're going to explain that to you. Reports, how is being where I told you about the abundant charts, all those stuff I told you about where I explained to the video I shared to you in the past week, sprint report, all those things. These are how the Scrum Master or the product owner going to be watching the activity, how the work is being done. So these are the graphs, how the management team is working, the release burn down chart, Epic, and all those things. I will explain all these things in all share, but right now, this is your left-hand side. This is the product, the backlog. We have the sprints, we have the timeline, and all these things. So this is backlog. So this is how your Scrum board is going to look like. And you can see on the top hand side, you can see the version, you can see the Epic and all this. Well, so I'm talking about Epic. I explained that to you that Epic is the high level, what's going to be breaking down. All these things are the whole Epic. We all in our team, in our company, we are embarking on this project. And this project is called banking, credit card, online banking. How the user is going to log into their credit card with their username and password. We can see the drawdown button here, the login, you can see the keyboard, visual keyboard, all these things, the whole of this is the whole Epic, what is going to be developed, the features. And I told you last week, I told you that what are those features going to develop? What are those features? Feature is nothing but an Epic. One, we're going to develop login module, credit card dashboard, and the profile. And you can see that this one is one Epic. This one is another Epic because Epic is a high level. What is Epic? I told you that an Epic user story is large that cannot be delivered as defined within a single iteration, or is larger enough that cannot be split into smaller user stories. All right. So when I start talking about user stories and Epic, it will not make sense to you right now, but I have to break it down. What is this Epic? What is this user story? What is product backlog? All those things are those terminologies you need to understand in Agile Scrum methodology. Now, what is Epic? As I told you in last, so I said now Epic, this is the first thing you want to know when you are working with Agile and Jira. So here, as part of our project, we decide to develop 3 features, and those are these 3 features: develop login module, credit card dashboard, and the profile. So these are those 3 things. Those 3 things are nothing but Epic. Developing the login screen, dashboard screen. When you log into an application, you will land on that home page, because when we log into the username and the password, here we're going to log into our home page, right? And when you log into that home page, what you're going to see on that home page, you're going to see the credit card dashboard. Is a whole Epic again. Everything, you're going to see every feature on that dashboard. So here is a whole Epic. You log into it here, then when you log into it in this application, you're going to land into the home page of that credit card. And when you log in, you're going to see the dashboard. That's the way it is on this particular one. You're able to create Jira, and you create a credit card application on there. But you see, this is the dashboard of our credit card banking on our Jira software, right? So the same thing, similarly, that's what it's going to look like. You all know that when you log into your credit card, your banking application, you land into you're going to see your account number, you're going to see your balances and all those things, right? Am I correct?
Mm-hmm. You're correct.
Yeah, so that's how it is. So all these are all epics. Epics upon epics, epics, epics. So you're going to see break it down. On each particular epics, you break it down. So epics is said is a large unit of work that has to be broken down into pieces of what smaller user stories. That's an epic. So now this is the first thing for us. This is our first epic. So it's nothing but the features. Profile page also is a picture. The profile, you're going to see your header. The header on your, just like we all know that when you log into your credit card, you're going to see your head. You're going to see a header on that page, right? You're going to see a header on that page. Maybe you can upload your pictures if you want to. There are options for you. Okay. So in that header page, you're going to see your name. You're going to see your last name. You're going to see your social security number, if your case may be. You're going to see your address. You're going to see your around your age, if case may be, and where to edit your address, and all those things come under the header page. So it's a profile under the credit card dashboard, under Epic again. So all those things, breaking all these things down, these are going to be like a stories. All is going to be stories. So That's what Epic is all about, and what user stories is all about, talking about stories. So you're going to see your profile page to update the user information. These are 3 high-level features we need to develop. All these things are going to be high-level features you're going to develop. So typically in Agile, we call a term called epic, all right, instead of features, all right? So it's called epic. That means we have 3 epics with us. One epic is to do what? To develop login module. One epic is to dashboard. One epic is to develop login module. All right. And one epic is profile. So, and basically when I say epic, it's on high level requirements, which we need to achieve. So for our project now, we have 3 high level features. That means we have 3 epics to solve as part of this project. So I will discuss more on epic and its definitions, okay? So, but right now, just remember that when you say epic, it's just the feature we need to develop, and it's on high level. So if that's 3 features we need to develop, then what is user story? If this is one of those features this epic will want to develop, then what is this user story? Can someone read this, what we have on the screen? What is this user story? If you can see my screen, can you read up what you have on the screen?
A user
Yes,
story is the
are you?
smallest unit of work in Agile framework.
Okay. So a user story is the smallest unit of work in Agile framework. I just showed to you that maybe it's something like a profile, okay? Breaking this down, okay, we in the header page, in the profile, in the header page, you see your header page on the credit card header profile. You're going to see all these profile. You're going to see your name, how to edit your name, your address, and all those things. So all these things, breaking down all these kind of user stories. You can see more about this project, this profile. Breaking down of an epic is user story. Because why is called user story? Because epic are large work irons broken down into a set of stories. Because the purpose of a user story is to articulate how a piece of work will deliver a particular value to the customer. Okay, let me stop there right for now. But what you need to understand that a user story is the smallest unit of work, because these things, all these things are large work. What you see on this screen is a large work which cannot go in a particular day. So we need to break all these things like this. The implementation of this first is what we trying to develop, the developed login module, okay? Because this login module is a large work. We can't do this in a single day. So we have to break it down. Okay, that's what I told you about who is going on vacation, where how many we are in the team, our team capabilities, how are we able to develop this thing in a timely manner. We have only what sprint is of a 2 weeks. Okay, so each day, how many work are we able to commit in our project? So typically in Agile, we call the term called epic of a feature. That means we have 3 epics. We have for login module, we have developed login module, we have epic profile. And basically, when I say epic, is a high level requirement which we need to achieve. So for our project, we have given 3 high level requirements. So, but right now, remember that when you say epic is a high level feature, we need to develop and is a high level. So if that is the case, user story is the word just commonly used in everywhere in agile process. So let's try and understand what user story is and how it's related to this epic, and what are the difference between epic and user story. So let's try to understand the terminologies, and then we will jump back to uh, Jira to create this epic and user stories. So you can see here, I said, as you read, you said user story is what? Is the smallest unit of work in Agile framework. A user story is the smallest unit of work in Agile framework. So when I say epic, that is here we have 3 epics, okay? Let's take first epic for a while, all right? Now, develop first login module. That's our first epic. Develop a login module. That is the first epic we have. So when I say user story is the smallest unit of work for that epic. So that's why we say that the larger work items. When you say develop login screen, if you want to develop this login screen, that is not a simple thing, right? It's not a simple thing to do just for a whole day. You have to develop whole screen. These edit boxes have to be there. You have to provide connection because this login screen has to be connected to a database. Because how can a user log in? A user cannot come in here and log his username and password. Just any user. He creates an account. That account he created, our Facebook account, our login account in our banking application is being stored in a database. DB, database connections. So all this, you have to connect it to a database. That's why as a QA analyst, you have to have knowledge of this database testing. Those are the back end. All right, how the knowledge of SQL is being developed. So those doing that are those database admin, database analysts, database scientists, data science. Okay, so when a user comes in here to this login screen, they create a account, and that account is being stored in a database. All right, so that is all you're going to know about all those things. I mean, writing SQL queries and all those to the backend testing to make sure that this backend, the front end is being implemented, is being matched. The front end and the back end matches, so there's no bug in those situations. So to develop this login screen is not a small task for the whole day because you have to create an edit boxes, you have to provide connection to the database to store this username and password, sign up for this page, the header page, the header, there are a lot of items in our login page. Okay, so when you have so many things as a high level requirement, that can be broken down into a set of stories. Okay, a set of stories. Breaking down this epic is what is meant by stories, a set of stories, because this is a story, user ID is a story, password is a story. Starting when I click on this this drop down button, draw down text box right here. You're going to see maybe banking online accounts, you edit, start with maps, accounts, drop down into accounts, all those things, before you log in. Maybe what you want to do right here, you want to start in my account, I want to change password. When you click on this drop down might give you different list of options. Okay, so when you have so many things as a high level requirement, that can be broken down into a set of stories. So big work as a login screen can be done in a small chunks. What I mean by chunks, when I told you about incremental model. You remember incremental model, Abraham? Anybody remember incremental model in SDLC? Yeah, these are what it is. So chunks of code, that's the stories. So it deliver to a customer chunks of codes. So all those things will be there in a small chunks. So let's say firstly, I'll put the edit boxes on the screen, first step, and that you can treat as a user story. Okay, this edit box here can be put on the screen. So that's the first step. Okay, that's the user story. So now, he said, can someone read this, Miss Davis? Can you read it on this line? If you can see it, I want to make sure you can see that. Can you read this table?
Who did you call?
Yeah, can you read up this screen for me? Can you?
Yes, the
Yeah.
purpose of a user story is to articulate how a piece of work will deliver a particular value back to the customer.
All right, you can see that. So
User
everything I'm having
story.
on this screen, yeah, that's okay. Now everything I'm having on this screen must have a purpose. It has a meaning. You can't just add anything on the screen. Okay, so it should have a purpose. Let's say first I'll put edit boxes on the screen, first step, and that you can treat as a user story. Now you say the purpose of this user story is to articulate a piece of work. Connection of piece of work is a big epic. So now to implement that login page, I have to do at least 15 pieces. All right. So I have to do as 15 pieces. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, maybe 4, the keyword visuals, and all these footer links like new users, know your user ID, create, generate password. All this, what they have is like a footer link. So all this only page. Don't take a screenshot of this, but just to explain, I will show you one visual in the internet, but just for sample purposes. So now to implement that login page, I have to do at least 15 pieces. I have decided my whole work into 15. I've divided my whole work into 15 pieces. Okay. So this whole epic you can see on this page right here, this whole epic, we have break our work into different chunks. Like this is a chunk, like what you have here is a chunk, like the boxes here, one story, creating all this, putting on the screen is one story. This one is on that story. This one is on that story. Maybe I'm taking like a 15 piece of work, like footer links, all those things, like click here, this is a story on its own, everything, like you are putting everything one after the other. So maybe there's 15 pieces here we have taken committed for that particular story in 2 weeks. We have to deliver this. It's sprints, right? I talk about sprints backlog, product backlog. All these things going to be in the product backlog. Then before you go into the sprint, but let me pause right there for now. All right. So the whole epic here, we have break our work into different chunks. Let's say I have the first create 2 edit boxes, and then I will create this text box, this visual text box right here. Again, that's on the epic. So after that, I will put this drop down. All right. And this button, login button. This is one story. Story is a chunk of work as in a whole epic. Taking them just like that in chunks. What we can do within committed for 15 days. Okay. For that sprint, we want to work on this. Because that's the first thing to do what? To implement a login script module. That's our epic. And that epic, we're breaking it down. I call it about our capabilities and our team restructuring. So you can say that for the next 2 weeks, I will develop 5 stories. That means 5 small work units to achieve this epic. We are picking them one after the other. So this edit boxes is one story. Button drop down is another story. And in one story, I will put one of these links, all these links, footer links, and add some keyboards, okay? Visual keyboard. And in another story, I will put these text boxes, all these things. I can achieve this goal in 6 user stories, okay? So that's how we use user story terminology in Agile. So now if I read the definition that I said now, you can see that what the story is. So that's how we use the story, user story terminologies in Agile. So now if you read the definition, it will make sense to you, right? So it's the smallest unit of work in the whole Agile framework. All right. So epics are large work items that can be broken down into a set of stories, set of smaller development work. Now, Davis read, he said, the purpose of a user story is to articulate how a piece of work will deliver a particular value back to the customer. Now, if I develop 2 edit boxes, right? If I develop two edit boxes, what is the value I'm giving to the customer? Can someone tell me what's the value I'm giving to this customer? If I have to develop these two edit boxes on this login screen, what is the value I'm giving to the customer? What is the value I'm giving to the customer? If I want to develop these two edit boxes, what is the value I'm giving to this customer?
I guess they'll be able to log in effectively.
Just like that. So if I develop two edit boxes, what is the value I'm giving to the customer? So I'm giving that value. I'm giving that user, which is customer, can enter his credentials in the edit boxes. This is the value. You see that? That means, that's what I've said. The purpose of user story is to articulate how a piece of work will deliver a particular value back to the customer. So when I take one user story, you have to make sure that small piece of work having some value back to the customer. So you can see all these footer links, all this below, you can see all these things. Like, let me just show you something like this, like Chase Bank. You can see all these things, what you have here. These are all footer links. You can see that? This is what I mean by footer links. Okay. So the below footer links as part of our one story, you have to also think from perspective that if I actually take these links, development footer links, as one user story, is this user story delivering some value? Because everything will be in the product backlog. It will be in your backlog. I'm picking them. I'm working on them. And I told you by team capabilities and by business values. Business values. When I talk about sprints, I was explaining to you about sprints in last class. Now we have sprint planning. They will have sprints. In sprint planning, we have product backlog. We have teams capability and restructuring and business values. So according by business value, are you going to start picking all these things? Which are you going to pick first? This one. This is the major one. In a login screen. Are you going to footer links? Start picking up footer links. What are you going to do with footer links? So what value? These below links as part of one user story. You have to also think from your perspective at the back of your mind. If I try to take these links, development footer links as one user story, is this user story delivering some value? If you don't think so, then add more to make sure it delivers some value. Okay, yeah, it still delivers value by providing these links. So you are providing a value to a customer to create a new user. You can see why you're creating a new user, all those things, forget passwords, provide a value to the customer. So we have a new user, generate password, and to navigate all these links. So, and again, you will put all these text as one user story, and that again have a value. This have a value that you are clearly giving some instructions to your customer. Maybe, you're giving generate password, forgot password, and all those stuff. And again, ensure for me before logging in, URL address, and all this. You are giving information to the customer how to navigate to this particular login, how to log in. In case you are able to forget your password, you can click on this and generate password. So you're providing a value to the customer. Have a value that you are clearly giving some instructions to your customer on how to provide user ID and password. So like that, make sure that when you create a story in Agile Framework, Scrum Master may ask you that, is this user story really having a value? So if that's perspective, you need to create user story. Okay. So user stories are often synthesis simple language. So you can see that you make sure that they have a value to the customer. Now I say that user stories are a few sentences in simple language that outline the desired outcome. Right? So user stories are often sentences in simple language that outline the desired outcome. What does that mean is that when you define these user stories in Jira, okay, or in any tool, you have to describe them with short, simple language. Don't make it too lengthy. Short, simple language. And if someone reads, you can see that if someone read this thing, this text box we have on this screen right here, it makes sense. Very simple, right? Very simple. So that's why I said it should make sure it's of what user story
Very simple language.
are few sentences in simple language that outline the desired outcome. They outline what it needs to do, what is the outcome of what I'm giving to the customer. So it should be very simple language, right? So when you define these user stories in Jira or any other tool you're using to track your bugs and everything, so you have to describe them with short, simple language. And if someone reads the user story, then they should be able to tell what is the value given back to the customer. So that is desired what?
Outcome.
That is desired outcome. So knowing all these things, user stories are often expressed in simple sentences structures as follows. So I will come to that. But let's do one thing. Let's create one user story in Jira, and let's base the user story and tie it over to an epic. We're going to create a user story. So you create this user story as and tie it up to an epic. So I'm going to start building user story, and we discuss more about user stories, and our user story going to tie it to that particular epic. This is an epic, right? This whole thing here is our epic. This is an epic we are about this area. So we're going to create our user stories, like all these chunks of code, this user story, edit boxes, text messages on this. So when you create user story, then you tie it up to that particular epic, because we have different epics here, features here, credit card. Are you going to tie this user story to this particular credit card dashboard? Does it make sense? Every story is tied up to is epic, right? So every story is going to be tied up to is epic. Which epic is it going to? So how it's being done in Jira. So first of all, we're going to create an epic. Then from there, we create our user stories and we'll tie it up to that particular epic. This is the first thing that our business people provide for us. So requirements are added once agreed upon by the team. Okay. So I'm going to start building user story, and we will discuss about requirements and all those things. So requirements are added once agreed upon by a team. And what is the format we actually want to write a user story? In general, Agile suggests us to do this way. Okay. So in Agile is this is suggestion box right here. This suggestion box. All right. So user stories are often expressed in simple sentences structured as follows. This is how you write your user stories. All right. You have to have this as the back of your mind. So this is how Agile suggests us to do like this. As a person, what you want to do, I want to, right? As a person, what you want to do so that what you will achieve. Okay. So this statement should be written from customer perspective. For example, I'm a customer to this credit card banking application. All right. I'm a customer to this credit card banking application. Then user stories should be written this way. As a customer, I want to log into my credit card banking application so that I can able to view my accounts. So this is how Agile requires us to write our user story. You should have a back of my mind, you're taking up stories. This as a person, I want to so that. So as a credit card customer, I want to log into my application so that I'm able to do what? View my account balances. As a credit card online banking customer, I want to enter my username and password. I want to enter my username and password so that I can submit my credentials into the portal. This is how you have to define your user story. If you read this, you can see that if you read this timeline, you know who is the end user, right? If you read this timeline, right, you know, as a person, who is this? As a person, are you the person? No, the customer, right? So if you use this timeline, you will know who is the end user, the customer. I want to, what customer is trying to do, right?
Mhm.
Try to do in our page, and what is happening. What is happening after he does that. So this detail you have to clearly put in the above syntax. So this is suggestion syntax. Some follow it while some don't. Okay, but we shall follow this in our framework, in building our agile. So, but in the syntax, first you have to define user story and tell what you have to develop as part of your story. So let's say this epic definition, which is so with this epic definition, it said epic. Epic user story is large. Yes, that is high level requirement, right? That
Mhm.
cannot be delivered within a single iteration. So when you say iteration, let's say that you have 14 days. Okay. When you say iterations, that way, remember when I'm talking about incremental model, okay, increments from one point to the other, like a chunk of code. So when I say iterations, it's an epic user story is a large that cannot be delivered as within a single iteration. So when I said iterations, it means that we have like let's say that you have 14 days to deliver some work, like one iteration come in 14 days. So when someone say epic cannot be delivered because it is high level definitions, all these things is high level definitions, high level functionality, just develop login page and is large enough that it cannot be split into smaller user stories. So now when we understood it, because a large user stories, we are breaking into a large epic, we are breaking it into what smaller user stories. So, and that's a whole generic requirement. From generic requirement, we are breaking into smaller user stories, and we are writing that smaller user story in the form of small syntax so that we know what we are delivering. So now that is what it is. So all these things, we're going to break them down in less than those 14 days before. It's like e-stories, all these stories, adding the edit boxes, writing all these text boxes, the footer links, all these things. We commit them in 14 days. So we start doing all these things. So it's a larger unit of work. So we have committed to deliver a particular stories in 14 days. So that's what I mean by iterations, right? When I said a user story, epic is a lot that cannot be delivered as what delivered within a single iterations. So iteration can be 14 days. Okay. So we're going to deliver this large unit of work in 14 days. These stories we are going to build, just like we are building it. Make sure everything functionality is happening. High level functionality. Okay. To develop this particular login page. So how to create user stories, and we tied it up to an epic. Like this is a whole epic. Develop login page, the whole epic. And you can see that breaking down all these epics into small iterations is a user story. So these user stories, we're going to tie it up to what? This epic, develop login module, right? So how do we do that? How do you create login? How do you create epic in Jira? So now you come over to your Jira. You created your credit card dashboard, right? This is a credit card dashboard for us. This is a whole epic. These are a project for us, a credit card banking online application. These are all this is a project for us, a credit card banking. Okay. So in the credit card banking, these are all features, a whole epic for us. So what to do is that this first thing, we are developing a login module. We are developing this login module. That's first thing. And breaking the down is our own user stories. We first do what? You go to your dashboard, your projects. You can see if you have multiple projects in your company, you can view them all here. view all projects. You can see we have only one. If you want to search for credit card, you see it pulls up. So you go right here and start working on that particular project. Okay. So this is a project for us, and we start working on those projects. So now, first of all, since this is a project for us, and they have is a large bit of work. Okay. Credit cards, develop login module. Okay. So I developed a login module. So, and that login module is a feature, and that feature is not about the Epic. So what we do is that we have to create Epic. Okay. We have to create our Epic. Now, when you go to your dashboard, your credit card dashboard, now we click on this. You can see here, you can see a global button right here. Okay. You can see this Epic. Click right here, you can see Epic. But I want to show you from here, this perspective. You create, you can see this is a project. So issue, as I told you, issue can be anything. Issue can be bug, issue can be Epic, issue can be story. Okay, so right here we are creating Epic. All right. So you can see now we have 3 episodes, and you have 20, maybe you have a 20 user stories. We have to tell what epic this user stories is going to implement. So basically in Jira, there is a provision where you can link your epic to your user story. So we write user story with the below this statement. As a person, we have to log into our credit card dashboard so we can able to view our account. This is your syntax here. So when you are on your dashboard, your project on your left hand side, you can see Epic here, or anywhere you can click or create button. You can then issue type can be Epic. That's what you are creating. Learn about issues and everything. So this is about Epic. So start is to do. It's in to do list. All right, it's to do. We are still implementing it. So you are still implementing those stories. So you're not, it's not done yet. You are still creating our epics. So we're not adding our stories to it. So you can see epics is to use, you can, in former, I think they changed that UI. Formerly, when you see epic, you say creating epic, use epics to plan features. Features, nothing but what, um, you see create issues and all those stuff like that. Before, when you former UI, I think before you have it on the left hand side, when you mouse over it, you will say create epic to what, to plan features. So that's what I told you. What epic is, use epic to create features. A feature is not about the same epic. So log into one features is one epic. So which you are interested to do right now, later on we can then add more to our profile. So you can click on the epic, you can see here, or create a button, and you can see here issue type, and you can click like your issue type is epic you're trying to create. So when you click on epic, you can see there are no epics right here. Nothing is, you don't have any epic now, any epic in our credit, our Jira 2. All right, we're just creating an epic. So this one window is open. You can see the window is open to us, and you can see to do what you're about to do. You see, to-do list. So, and you can see our project, our credit card project, our epic issue type is an epic. You see to do the then summary. Okay, what is the issue? This is the issue status upon creation. Okay, all right. So, what is the summary of these things? What is the summary of what we are doing? All right. So, what you can someone tell me the summary of what you are trying to implement on our epic? What is the summary of these things? Just as you can summarize anything.
So to
Summary can say what is summary? There's the epic is about what? This epic is about developing a login module, right?
login model, yeah.
Yeah, so you can just put it summary. You can say so that this epic, you can say
The epic is to
you can
develop
say
a login model for customers.
yeah, anything like I can say this epic is for, or let's say this epic should complete login module to complete login screen. For customers. That's just summary. Obviously, to complete login screen for customers, or you can say login screen to complete login screen with username and password. Right, just saying it's a summary, right? So that is summary. The Epic should complete the login screen.
You
right?
missed the username.
Yes, just summary, because that's the name of this.
You
What's
missed the
this Epic?
username. This
No,
Epic should complete login screen for customers with and password. So is it with
Yeah,
username
just
and
summary. Just can do anything. Just say the Epic should complete login screen for. Okay, let me move this. Anything for customers with username and password. You can say username and password. Okay, just summarize it. Short name to identify this Epic. Just short name to identify this Epic. Just in summary, because it's not this feature. The Epic is to develop logins module, right? So what is summary? Okay, summary is for what? For this Epic is for customers to be able to log in with their username and password, or for customers to be able to log in. Anything, just a summary. All right, just say. So we can see here, what I go back again, as I said, this project indicates how to create our Epic, right? So if we have different projects, we can go ahead and type. So these are just our Epic. Issue type is an Epic. So as I told you that issue in Jira, basically in Jira, everything categorized as what? You can see this issue. Everything in Jira, just have it to back of your mind that everything is categorized into issue. If you want to create issue, if you want to create user story, is a type of issue, is a story. So if you want to create bug, you can say want to create bug is an issue type. And again, types of issue to select is bug. So ultimately, everything goes under this issue type. So don't tax, story, bug, anything falls under the issue type, right? This is a critical project for us. Then this to do is we are still to-do list. It's not done yet. It's not in progress yet. It's to-do list. Summary of what we are doing is we are developing a critical project. The module is a login screen module, right? These are login screen, develop login module, right? So the summary is to what this Epic should complete login screen this customer should be able to log in with their username and password, or this Epic should be able to complete a customer login screen. Anything. So the parent here, what's the parent is to the select types as top of our issues, type of hierarchy work. Let's do that for now. Then components, I'll explain that components to you. There are one we tied up our Epic. We are done with our Epic. I'll sure explain what component is. So and here we have description. I will leave that description for now, because description have to do with the product owner. It's have to do some technical aspect of it. So I will leave that issue type. But what I just want to know is just to create Epic. I just want to say first version there. First version, I'll explain that again. Priority, I will explain priority. You guys know what priority is, right? High priority, Miss Gloria, you remember what priority is?
Yes.
It's a high priority and low priority bug and all those stuff. So if your story is maybe you have a bug, maybe this bug, and the bug have to be a high priority bug, you have to specify it here on this screen so that the developer working on it, they're going to pick it up and see that there's a bug has been raised. Well, to right here, what I'm concerned about the issue is about what's Epic. It's a whole Epic for us to develop this login screen. It's Epic for us. So how to create Epic is what we are doing right there. So all these things, description, first version, if I start explaining that to you, you might not really get it. But I'm just saying here by this priority because you guys understand what priority is in case you want to are raising a bug. Okay, so priority is what comes in here. So, and also if this is a story is a high priority story, by business value, I told you when you're planning, sprint planning. So this is what by business value is high priority. You have to fix this. You have to let this go. Because if this edit box is not on this screen, what is the essence of this epic? Essence of this epic here? Because this won't have to go because users are able to log in their username and password so you can log into that particular page and check their account balance. So this is a high priority, okay, for us, okay, for the customer. I can't start picking up these new users have registered and know your user ID, all those things. These footer links right here is not really necessary for us to start doing that right now. Even in your sprints, when it comes to your 15-minute stand-up meeting in your Scrum meets, they'll ask you questions, what have you done to yesterday, which are you about to do today? Or we just started our sprint and in our sprint, went to in our sprint backlog, we went to pick this. This is not priority, but according by business values, right? I thought when it comes to sprint planning, we have your product backlog, you have your team capabilities and structuring, and you have your business values. Okay, these are going by business values. These are what the customer need to go into the sprint backlog. All right, these are what you can't just pick this at the product backlog. I explained that to you in the last section. So what you just do here, you just have to what I don't want to go into more details about that, but how to create your sprint component. I explained that to you. First version, I could explain that to you. Already you know that the team, you choose your team, also labels. Going to speak the labels will not come out right here in this drop down because we have not really created as Epic. Epic is the first thing you have to create first. Attachments, want to describe how you're going to look like. Maybe you want to pick this, the login screen, how so to look our team able to understand how this is going to look like. The product owner, we're going to take a screenshot of it and attach it so we're also going to see how it looks like. That's what this attachment is all about. When you click on browse, then you're going to select this screenshot and all those stuff. You're going to take a screenshot of anything so the team will know how it looks like. And also, if you are using a bug, you can take a screenshot of that your bug, where your issue is coming from, where your bug, what you bug generated, where something for the developers to be able to take a look and see where the bug is. You can take a screenshot of it, so you can browse it. Also, so that's what this attachment is all. Link issues. You have to link your stories to that particular, tie up your stories to that particular epic. That's what you have to link it. You can see we have not created our stories here. That when we created our epic, we can then create stories and can link our stories to that particular epic. Okay, because this epic, all this login screen, dashboards, drop down, all these things got to be linked to this particular epic. Okay, you can't link this credit card dashboard. You can't link this to the credit card dashboard. Doesn't make sense because this stories is tied up to this particular epic. It's tied up to this particular epic we have here. It's tied up to this particular epic. So that's what this link is all about. When we create a stories, we create an epic, we start linking these issues, these stories to that particular epic. How to tie up stories to an epic, right? Creating stories for an epic, that's what we are right now. So assigning, where are you assigning it to? Are you assigning it to myself or anything? So you do that, assigning. And automatic, assign to myself. Okay, you can assign it to yourself and all those things. Assign to me. Okay, you can assign it to yourself. Then sprint, what sprint is it going to? Right? So it's going to this sprint. Credit card sprint 1. So when I told about sprints, okay, what sprint is it going to? Credit card sprint. This sprint, the first sprint, we're going to sprint backlog. Going to the first sprint. All these sprints, whatever is in sprint, is on product backlog goes to the sprint backlog. If related to past videos, we just explain what the sprint is. Everything go to sprint backlog. We are committed 14 stories, and those 14 stories are going to go into what? The sprint backlog. All this is going to go into the what? The sprint backlog. Okay, so if you want to create another issues again, you create another issues again, but for now, I want to leave it for now and create. So now these are our stories. Okay, these are epic. Sorry, these are epic right now. And so you can see the epic issues with epic. It said this epic should do a complete login screen with username and password. Okay, so that's our epic for us. All right, you can see your backlog, nothing in a backlog. There's nothing in this backlog. All right, there's nothing in this backlog yet. So backlog is what? What goes into a backlog? Can someone tell me what goes into a backlog? Stories goes into the backlog. Sprint backlog. So there's nothing in your backlog right now. All right. But right here, we just created epic. All right. You can see we created epic. This epic should complete what? Login screen. This epic should complete what?
The login.
Yeah, should complete login screen with username and password. So that's our epic. So you want to check these boxes, you come up to this issue type without epic. You say so this is epic for us. All right. Now this is all this whole epic. We have created an epic for this particular login screen. So breaking down this login screen is what we call user stories. So right now, how to create user stories. How to create user stories and tie our user story to this particular epic we are embarking on. These features, all these functionalities. We have to complete these things. These are whole epic. Now, breaking up all these things, which we are going to commit 15 or 14 stories. 14 stories can be our login screen, text box written on this screen, and virtual keyboard and all those stuff. We're breaking it down so we can commit like, let's break this down as chunks of code. We're going to take this out. We're going to take this out, these edit boxes. We're going to take this login. We're going to take this drop down and all those things. The footer links, all these things going to be in our story. So maybe we're committed for 5 stories for 14 days. We're going to work on all these things. Then the next sprint, we're going to commit another 14 days again. So sprint is nothing but committed to company takes it like, it depends on your company, may take 3 weeks, 14 days to finish up these chunks of code, chunks of works. So in our practical right now, we're going to commit like 14, or we're going to commit like 5, or just for practicals. So how to create it? What are those user stories? All right. So
And the max we can have is 15.
Yeah, next week again, like after we're done with that. You remember, if you follow the last section I told you about how it's being done in industry, sprint review meeting, after everything, we go back again and pick from the buckets, from the sprint backlog. Okay, we print it from the product backlog to the sprint backlog. We already commit like 15 again, then we go into another sprint. All those chunks of code, we are done with this. We're done with this. Edit boxes and everything. Then we have our 15 minutes every day, 15 minutes scrum meet. And from there, we know how many our team capabilities, our restructurings and all those stuff. And our impediments, the scrum master will ask you, what have you done today? And all those stuff. If you need to execute any code, it can help you out in all those stuff. I explained that in last section. So these are just what we're doing. Chunks and chunks of code to deliver a particular working software in our Scrum team. So User stories again, how to then, these are epic. We have created an epic. Now we start picking up these chunks of works, chunks of code. Now we want to commit our edit boxes. Now we do what? We go to our create global button right here, and then go to a global button right here, and then you go to issue type. You say we are creating stories. All right. So summary of those stories. What going to be the story? You can actually select the global button. Okay. Then on this page, you can issue type going to be stories, and going to be to-do lists. And going to be our summary. Our summary is going to be okay. First, so let's take this for one chunk of code. We're going to work on our stories. Now we're committed to take this as our business value. This is the first priority, so that the user can be able to log in their username and password. So let's commit this particular to our story as part of our story. So this goes into the story. So what is the summary of this story? The summary of this story, we can say edit boxes creation in login page. Okay, that's going to be our story. That's what we're trying to create. Okay, that's going to be a summary of our story for that particular edit box. That's a username and password. Okay, where edit box is creation, we're also creating an edit box. Anything, just summarize it. Okay, we'll follow about this component. This we create those edit boxes. Okay, this summary is to create these edit boxes. So we say edit boxes creation in our page. So this parents, you see, the parent has come out here is how to write now as an epic. You say that's the parent. They are tying up to this parent. This parent, you are tying up to that this story to this this user story to this epic. Okay. So you see it wasn't there before, but you can see the parent is this epic. Okay, you can select the epic. Then description, I will tell you more about the description. Maybe the description, this description, I will explain that to you, but should I do that today? Our time is past spent. Should we continue next week, or should we?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of terminology I'll have to learn.
Oh yeah, I know.
I'm gonna
All right,
review
let me draw the
this
curtain
week.
for. Yeah, let me draw the curtain for today. We continue, so step by step you understand it little by little. Okay, so at least you get something out of it for today. How to create user story, how to create epics, epics, and you can just like next week we're going to type our stories. We're going to start picking up all this before we start going to the sprint. Who is working on it, and we are putting on a sprint backlog, and we're picking all these stories. This is what we are working on, according by business values. All right, so this is what we're working on. So you guys have any question before I end for today?
No, I don't.
All right.
I don't have
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Stanley. Enjoy your holiday, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Stanley. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Gloria.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys. Have a good holiday. Be safe out there.
All right.